Hello everybody, I am Omega Recon Gaming, and welcome to the Pokemon Sword review. So, I've been very excited to talk about this game. Um, but before I get started, to the people who are going to get angry about my opinions, you might as well leave now, because I don't care for you. I'm here to talk about my opinions about the game and what I think about the game. So, if you want to hear about that, you're welcome to stay. Now, with all the reasonable people left, let's get started. So, Sword and Shield, with a lot of improvements. Oh wait, there's only improvements. There's no deprovements, because I don't care about the national decks. Bitches. Yeah, I don't care about it. Because you know why? I've already used all those Pokemon in the other games. So I don't care about them. Sure, it was nice to have some Pokemon spread throughout the routes. But for overall, I barely used any Pokemon that I have used before. The only Pokemon I used was on my team that was not from this game was Jangamo. And that was because it was from Sun and Moon. That generation. And I barely played Sun and Moon. And even then, I had a backup Pokemon. Even if I just wanted to use all Pokemon from that gen. It was gonna evolve too late, so I was just like, at that point, I didn't really care. So I was just, it was coverage, fighting in Dragon, so I decided sure. Over having Dragon and Ghost, which would have been good coverage too. The problem is its moveset sucked. And at the time, it gets better moves later, but I didn't want to wait, and I needed the fighting coverage. Sure, my starter, Scorch Bunny, learned double kick, but I'd rather, have a dedicated fighting so I could kill the normal types and ice types and blah, 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 blah. My point being is it was good coverage, and I needed it, and I could have picked a different Pokemon, but at the time, it's the one I found. So, and I earned this one through Dynamax, the raid battle. Speaking of which, let me talk about the Dynamaxing. I thought it was gonna be but no, I really like it. I really like it. It's my favorite feature now. The, Dynamaxing, Mega Evolutions. What's something she'll do? Z moves. Yeah. In terms of like those special features, Z moves are always lame to me. Like, you can only use them. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they weren't like the worst thing ever, but like, then. But Mega Evolutions were cool. I know some people just don't like them. I don't know why. I thought Mega Evolutions were really cool. Anyway. So, Dynamaxing's cool. It's got a really cool mechanic, like a turn mechanic. Like, you get 3 turns, and then it de-evolves. Like, your Pokemon gets stronger, and, like, it has 4 special moves. So you get 3 turns to use those special moves. And they're all dependent, like, they're basically Z moves of your 4 moves. So, yeah, it's cool. And they have, like, bonus effects. And it's, like, really cool. And I'm like, man, it's like they combined they've combined Mega Evolutions and Z moves. And they made it, and they added more to it. And it's one big cool thing now. And I'm like, brilliant. So, back to the National Dex thing. Good. Good that half of them are gone. God, I always felt, a little guilty about not catching them all. But now, I don't have that like problem anymore. Like I'm just like think and think of how this good is going to do for the trading system. Thank God, because now everyone's not going to beg for a stupid Arceus. For when I'm trying to trade just to get something I need, I don't have to trade a stupid legendary in order to get it. Thank God. Now people will be reasonable with trades. They'll have to be. I mean, I guess they could ask for shiny variants of like the legendaries, but I think that, you know, I think once people have like enough versions of that, they'll actually start trading for the things that they need. Thank God. So, enough about I'm going to talk about the other controversies throughout the review, but I'm going to mainly kind of okay. So, story and characters. The story is a bit on the weak side. As well as the Team Yell. I like their concept. I feel like they kind of done more with it, but what they did with it was okay. However, the character development for Bade, for Hop, for oh my God, I know the girl's name. Shoot. I just battled her. What's her name? Shoot, I can't remember at the moment. But oh my God, I'm terrible with names. It's not because she was unmemorable that I don't remember her name. It's like because I'm literally terrible with names. Anyway, she the sister of the gym leader. That then, you know, she's a sister of a gym leader. I liked her a lot. I actually liked the gym leaders a lot too. A lot of them were very polite, very nice. Like general, like the whole theming of this game was sports. Like European sports. Like it gave me the feel of like a real, like it kind of gave me like a football kind of like type of atmosphere. And I was like, that's really cool. I really like it. I think it achieves the theming better than Sun and Moon did, which I get its theming in Hawaii, and I liked it, and that was probably like the best thing about that game. But it can't be the only thing that's good really about. I mean, the Pokemon were okay in that game, but Pokemon in this game, oh my God, they were so cool. So many cool designs. I may have found some of my new favorite Pokemon. Like, my God, some of those were so unique, and so a lot of the moves were really cool, new moves. I did not like them restricting some of the moves to TR moves, and then basically being a breakable item. However, my best friend Matt made a good point. He's like, well, you can always get them from the raids, and the raids aren't too hard. And I'm like, that's a good point. And also I figured out that the raids also are, you know, not the raids, the moves that you can buy are changed daily. So you can get different moves on different days, which is a little annoying. But overall, it's better than them being stuck behind a BP shop. I always hated that. Or they got stuck behind a lottery shop. Oh, those were just the worst. You guys know you agree with me on that. Like there's like a bunch of moves where it's like, oh man, I don't want to do the stupid battle tower or whatever just to get a stupid move. I thought that was always the worst. But these are more manageable, so I'm not as angry, and you can stock up on them, so I'm not as angry. The raid battles are also fun. I actually do really enjoy them, and you don't need online. They give you, trainers that are halfway decent. But AI is still, I'm very, happy to have it. Catching Pokemon in this game was a lot of fun. I felt it was easier, which makes it better. Because, oh my god, how infuriating would it be to throw like thousands of Pokeballs until finally. But there were some times where it was challenging. But overall, the catching experience was much easier, and that was much more welcomed. Battling was fun. I much enjoyed it. I've been kind of just going over characters. And you know what? I'm going to give it, because of the good feel of this game, I'm going to give the story a full point. Characters and story, I'll give it a full point, because I do like the characters. There's a lot of good moments, a lot of good expressions. And that without voiceover. I think for the next Pokemon game, I think it's time. Breath of the Wild broke the barrier. I think Pokemon's turn now. It's a lot of voice work, but I think it's time. I mean, you could just get the voices that they're going to get for the Pokemon anime. I mean, might as well. That way you really get your money's worth out of the voice actors. Replayability. Pokemon being the one game series where I always say the replayability is there. Except for Sun and Moon. And Ultra. Oh, Ultra. Oof. Yes. 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 There were so many Pokemon I didn't even get a chance to use because, once I built my team, I had one interchange a bit in the midst of the game when I put Toxel in there because I swapped out the electric puppy for the Toxel because it was better type coverage. And I'm glad I did because, man, did Toxel save so many times. So many times did Toxel save my butt. And there's different forms, so maybe on a different playthrough I'll get the amped form. So yeah, replayability. Immersion. Full point. Graphics. Okay, so controversy point. I think it's great. Shut up. The game looks great. Deal with it. I think it looks great. Sure, some areas lack in detail, but overall the graphics look great. And if you're coming for Nintendo to be the powerhouse in freaking graphics, Nintendo. Out of all companies, you come to Nintendo. No. No. Their games are very artsy. That's what they're known for. But graphical powerhouses? No. Okay, so that's 5. Level design. Another point there. Well, I use the guide. Okay, so big disclaimer. When I play Pokemon nowadays, I use a guide because I want to experience everything. I did it mostly for catching Pokemon, but I also did it so I knew which trainers to go ahead so I could spread around my experience the way I wanted it. Also, so I could, get through battles, much better. But I've played Pokemon where you don't use a guide. But I like using a guide. It makes it go quicker, and it makes having the rush back to the it makes me have to do a lot less healing. Which I'll get to that in the gameplay. So that's another point. Soundtrack. It's so good. It's so good. They even have a song by Toby Fox in this game. This is so good. The soundtrack is so good. Oh my god, it makes me cry. It's so good. Another point, gameplay. It gets another point. Why? Because it has the improvements from all the games, plus more improvements. So the Dynamaxing was good. The, so half of the items are permanent, like, repeatable item. I should state that. And then a lot of them, half of them, are like one-use items. Also, the punches, the fire punch, ice punch, are finally able to be bought in a normal store. Thank you. And reasonably priced too. Anyways, gameplay. So yeah, the telling me the weaknesses was very great. I really enjoyed that. I love Pokemon wandering the world. It felt the world more alive. There's Pokemon everywhere. They used the way they use Pokemon and everything, how they use Dynamaxing to fuel the world's power source. Like, brilliant. Like, that's how we would use it. Like, we would use Pokemon to fuel our worlds. Brilliant. Okay? I love it. And like I said, I love the battles. Some of the battles were really challenging, even with a guide. Even when I knew what I was doing, I still struggled. Like, the enemies will beat you if you are not ready. And my team is, like, extremely balanced. Like, every Pokemon except my starter had 2 types each. And my typing was, I picked, it was refined, and I had moves to cover, their weaknesses. And even still, a lot of times my Pokemon would go down. They would get wrecked. So the balancing was great. I loved it. I had so much fun battling. So fun, full 2 points. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I hate to say it, but my worries were for nothing. In fact, Pokemon Sword may be my new favorite Pokemon game. It's very close because X and Y is my second favorite, followed by Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was such a good Pokemon game. I don't care what anyone says. It was such a good game. I really it's my favorite way to play Kanto now. It's like my favorite way. It looks great with the new updates. Well, secondary updates, because it updated when they did the they've updated it several times throughout each remake, but I think this most recent remake was great. So what did I not like? Well, like I said, the stories have been on the weak side, and main villain's kind of lame. It kind of feels like it was an afterthought. But other than that, game's great. I loved all the little things, the Europe-inspired areas. Legendary Pokemon, it's cool. I love that they assist you in fighting the big bad legendary. It's really cool. I love the main rival. He may be my favorite. Even though I love Hugh and his theme, Hop may be my favorite developed guy. Even though I didn't get to name him, I love him. And with a name like Hop, it's amazing that I felt so much for him. So, unlike what people said, this game is amazing. And if you hate this game, then you don't like Pokemon. And no, you don't like Pokemon because this game is great. If you can't overlook your love of using, like, why? Okay, why would you want to use your old Pokemon? That's boring. Use new Pokemon. You lames. On a second playthrough, yeah, but you're telling me that you didn't have a problem with paying $15 a month previously, but this time when Nintendo was like, no, we don't want to have 1,000 Pokemon in the game. That's unreasonable, in my opinion. And I don't want all those Pokemon in there. I mean, Arcanine made it in, so I'm not that angry. I mean, some of my favorites didn't make it in, but overall, if it means kicking the legendaries out of the balance, I'm fine with that. And I'm fine with this means that other people have to make new teams. God forbid you have to be original and make a new team. God forbid. Ugh, some people just, they want to get angry at something. It was like Ghostbusters. Like, well, that legitimately. Okay, it's like people's hatred for Ghostbusters 2. Like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And it's like people's hatred for the prequels. The prequels are better than the original Star Wars. Come at me. If you want to come at me for that opinion, I'll take that to my grave. The prequels are better than the original trilogy. Come at me for that. But for this, it's a fun Pokemon game. Let people enjoy it, you boring... Okay, here's what I do. When I play a Pokemon game, the journey ends when the journey ends. They stay there in that game. Sure, I've transferred Pokemon before, but, now I'm just like, their journey has ended. I've cherished the memories I've had with them, the close battles, and everything, but, always using new Pokemon is a lot more fun. On every playthrough of X and Y, I've done that. I've played it 5, 6, 7 times. Okay, some of them I've had use on the more recent playthroughs. I've had to use repeats because, for balance sake, I need to. But my point is that I've used a bunch of different Pokemon in, and I also needed like HM slaves, which are gone now. Yay. Thank God that Nintendo found a way to write around having to use HMs. Hopefully they keep that this way so we never, ever, ever have to see them again. Okay, so it's a 10 out of 10. I think it's my game of the year, honestly. There's so many terrible, terrible games that have been this year. That, like, since Devil May Cry, sure, there was a good gem here and there, but overall, there was a lot of terrible garbage. So, when a game like this comes around, and it's like, it saved my heart, because I was like, if Pokemon's bad, I quit. I would, if this would have been bad, I would have probably quit video games. I'm not even joking, because this year was the worst in gaming I have ever seen in my life. I am not even joking. I'm not even to be hyperbole. I mean, Jump Force, Far Cry New Dawn, Anthem, Division 2, Rage 2, Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelists. Borderlands was a disappointment. So I'm gonna put it in there, even though it was a decent game, but overall its annoyances overshadowed it. And Ace Combat 7. I just kind of skipped that one. So now, I was going to tell you whether I think you should buy it or rent it. Buy it. Buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it. If you're a Pokemon fan, buy it. If you're not a Pokemon fan, buy it. If you don't have a Switch, buy it. And get this game. Buy it. If you have a renting system, rent it. Rent it. Rent it. Rent it, rent it, rent it, rent it, rent it, rent it. But buy it eventually. I love it so much. It's such a good game. I want to go back to playing it right now instead of doing this review. So I think I'm going to do that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And check out my Twitter. I have tons of pictures and video throughout my adventures. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.